Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about how to best approach informational meetings with design industry leaders or just folks in your industry that you want to get to know more or you want to pick their brain about. This topic is not something that really was requested, but I've noticed a lot of designers coming out of school or boot camps and wanting to, learn more from folks who have a few years in the industry, but their approach is always a little bit hesitant or they don't really know the best ways to go about it. And just wanting to package it up in a nice little video for you so that the next time you want to book a chat with somebody in your industry, you know exactly what to do and how to approach it and then also how to follow up. Alrighty, if you're interested, keep watching for tips on how to book that informational meeting with the next industry leader. Alrighty, I think the first thing before you go ahead and book an informational meeting with anybody is to figure out who you want to talk to and what you're looking for from them. And this is super important before you even go and even try to get a meeting with somebody, because you kind of have to go in with a purpose. I'm sorry, everyone's really busy these days and it's really tough to be asking someone out for a coffee to pick their brain when you don't really have a specific ask. I think there's a very distinct line between chatting and sort of making friends or making acquaintances versus a very specific career-focused ask from someone in the industry that you want to learn more about their career trajectory, what their experience has been like in XYZ companies or fields. And so you really have to ask yourself, who are you looking to talk to? For example, I'm trending towards design management, and what that means is essentially I want to be a manager for a team of designers. If I were to want to talk to somebody to learn more about their experience either as a manager or their day-to-day responsibilities or how they're enjoying their role or their responsibilities, I would very specifically pinpoint, okay, I want to talk to somebody that has a team that is currently managing a team. I can get another layer deeper than that. How many people in their team? So I can look for folks who are, managing large teams or smaller teams, depending on where I want to be. Or I can just talk to everybody, depending on how much time I have. Essentially, what I'm trying to illustrate is that you can get very specific in your ask. The more specific you are, the better it is for you to get your answer. Not only do you have to get specific about who you want to talk to, but also what you want to ask of them. I would do this either in a very general ask where it's like, what has been your experience in X? Or a series of questions that you'll be asking whoever it could be. And mind you, when I'm saying who it is, it doesn't have to be a specific person. It could also be someone that fits the specific criteria in which you are looking to gain more knowledge from. Alrighty, now that you have your who, so it's like a specific person, or like a general criteria of like the type of person you want to learn more about their career or however they got to where they are now, you have to figure out how to reach this person or how to put that ask out there so that there is some sort of answer from someone. I think the best way to sort of go about this, if you can, is organically through meetups. So whatever industry you're in, if I'm talking about design specifically, go to design meetups. Go to socials, take part in communities on Slack or Discord or on YouTube, and make that acquaintance or make that connection with someone first. That's always the best way to go about it, because at least they have some context about you. It's not always comfortable for someone to accept a coffee chat when they haven't met a certain someone, either for personal reasons or they're just more introverted. And so I always recommend that you meet folks in person before you do extend that ask, before you get too intimidated and think like, oh, I have to go and, make myself known in these communities beforehand. You can also ask your network. You can ask your coworkers or friends who might know somebody in their network that is, fits the criteria of your who, and it'll be easier for you to put out that ask, knowing that there is a mutual friend or there is sort of like somebody in between that can even give you that intro. Alrighty, so the next step after you've, let's say, pinpointed a person or a few people who you want to talk to or reach out to and ask for an informational meeting, how do you actually message them, or what should you say in your message? I always appreciate someone that's very upfront with their ask, and respectful, but also doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to what they're looking for and what they kind of want out of me. Make sure that your message is friendly, but also very upfront in your ask. So don't try to, you know, make small talk, befriending someone. Be very upfront in sort of giving context of who you are, how you met this person or came about this person, or what spurred you to message the person in the first place. So for example, if it was, again, going back to my example of design managers, I would introduce myself if the person is not familiar with me already. I would say, hi, my name is Han. I'm a senior product designer at Wattpad. I'm trending towards a design management career track. I was hoping to chat with you for 30 minutes, half an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. Be very specific so that they understand how much commitment is on their side. And I was hoping to, you know, chat with you for 30 minutes to understand your career path and how it led you to where you are now. And so I think the message formula is not overtly long or verbose. It's pretty much just directly to the point, and it gives people enough information to either agree to or deny your request to meet. We'll send that either through email or LinkedIn or through a message on an online community. Give it a few days. One thing that I want everyone to take note is that when it comes to informational meetings, you're asking of the other person. So you should always treat it as a favor that they're doing for you. One thing I appreciate is when the person who's asking me of my time recognizes that and they say, you know, it shouldn't take more than X amount of time, or hey, coffee's on me, you know, I really appreciate your time. Something to avoid is the expectation that the other person is going to say yes, or that they're even gonna respond at all. And this is totally up for, I don't know, debate. Sometimes people don't answer because they're busy, they don't see your message. There could be a million reasons why. And so I would suggest one follow-up email or message on the same communication line that you opened up with if they don't respond, and give it 1 week. After that, no more messages. I think once a person has not seen it, has ignored your message 1 time, 2 times, it's pretty much a no. And that's nothing personal on you. They might have trouble saying no to folks online and don't want to let them down. So no response is a no is a no, a yes is a yes. If a person says no, say thank you, or I appreciate your response. Hopefully we can connect at a later time when it's more convenient, you're less busy, blah, 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 whatever it could be. If a person says yes, then that's when you can go ahead and try to figure out logistics. I always like it when folks ask me what my availability or preference is. I usually say between X time and X time on X days. Now that the person has agreed to come and chat with you, you have to decide where would be the best place. I think it's usually preferable if you ask them, where do you prefer? Do you prefer closer to your office? And then from there, do your research and suggest a coffee shop or even a nice little public park. I've had chats in parks with some designers, and I find that to be a little bit more organic. Sometimes a coffee shop can feel a little bit either too loud or or a bit too intimate, or whatever the case may be. I prefer a place where I'm familiar with the surroundings and I know there's ample seats so that you're not scrounging to find a place to sit. Okay, so now it comes to the actual day itself where you're meeting them. Make sure that you do arrive a few minutes early. You can grab a table and wait for the other person to come. Always good to be pleasant, shake their hand, hi, it's nice to meet you. You know, just normal human being etiquette. I find during the session itself, make sure that you have questions written down or you've sent them ahead of time. I love this because I go in preparing myself on what this person is gonna ask me or what I'm gonna ask that person, and there's no surprises, and they can actually come up with a better answer to your questions and feel more prepared in that way. Now, I have to tell you, I've been on probably closer to more than 25, less than 50 coffee chats where designers will listen to me talk at them, but not write anything down. I feel like sometimes folks feel like it should be more casual, chatting, and by writing down notes it feels very formal. But the whole point of me being there or you being there chatting with this other person is to get information from them. And so how do you best retain information if you're not recording the whole thing, which I don't think is a good idea, but to write notes. So please, 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 in your sessions, do bring a pen and a paper and write down some notes, or even just like on your phone. Make sure you're not just like typing at your phone and you're paying attention to the conversation, but do bring that out and do make it a point to take down the very useful information that you're about to receive. You can use the notes as sort of an opener for the continued communication. Like, for example, you can say, hey, I wrote down some really good points. Do you mind if, I follow up with, XYZ points, or do you mind if there's any questions I have? You can just say, I try to write down as much as I can, but if there's something in my notes that I'm missing, do you mind if I reach out at a later date to confirm details, yada, 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 yada. This is important in that you kind of want the conversation to keep going, or not. I mean, it's up to you. If the person you met with literally provided no value, then you can just say thank you so much for your time. But in the case that they do say some things that you find enlightening, or you want to update them with your progress later on, or just, keep them part of your network, do mention at the end of the meeting, like, do you mind if I connect with you in 3 months, 6 months, and tell you or chat with you about my progress? I'm going to implement, XYZ now, and I'll follow up with you in a few months to let you know how that's going. People will most likely never say no to that, because if they've already invested 30 minutes, 60 minutes chatting with you, they're going to want to see that, you've grown or progressed since chatting with them. And so I always take the opportunity at the end of the conversation to open up that line of communication further down the line. And then lastly, when the meeting is over, it is just normal human etiquette to say thank you. You can say thank you at the end of the session, whether or not, again, they provided the value or the answers to the questions that you're looking for or not. But it's a very nice gesture to send them a quick note the next day and just say, hey, I really appreciated your time. I enjoyed our conversation about this, this, or this. Thank you so much for taking the time, and hope to update you on my progress in X months, or just close it off and just say thank you. Just wanted to let you know, blah. That is so, I think, invaluable to a human, like just to a connection. To be honest, time is precious, and the fact that people take out the time in their day, from their family and their life to chat with you, it's such a nice gesture to get that thank you afterwards and that deep appreciation of that person's time. Alrighty, so that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to set up an informational meeting, your basic etiquette, and also follow-up etiquette to those sessions. And I hope to see you in the next video. Let me know down below, if you were to have your ideal person chat with you regarding whatever industry question you have, what questions you would ask them. And if you haven't done so already, thumbs this video up and subscribe for more videos that are design related, life related, and just general stuff that I like. Hope to see you next time. Bye. Wow.